Hey, it's Zennial Gamer, and today we're going to be talking about how not to get MIHO'd. Real quick, raise your hands if any of you have ever been MIHO'd, and then feel really self-conscious because you just raised your hand at a YouTube channel. Okay, so joking aside, I know we've all lost a fight at some point to MIHO that just left us shaking our heads and saying, what just happened? So for today's video, we're going to be looking at 10 ways not to get MIHO'd. First, a couple of honorable mentions. Coming in at number 12 would be Mananananamanamana, or however you pronounce the name of the Dark Sea King Emperor. So with his new buff, the passive that does splash damage, you could reduce MIHO to 1 HP. You'd still have to land a finishing blow with her, but you could at least get her down to 1 HP without being countered. Second would be reflected damage, which you could do with a monster like Lydia, or actually Ragdoll now with the buff, or of course you could do it with Joltan. But because they're all dark monsters, it would be really hard to get the MIHO to attack them. Now on to our top 10 list. So coming in at number 10, we've got using a whole team of really low crit rate monsters, or using 3 really low crit rate monsters with lots of heal and death prevention and 1 nuker. Let's look at this fight and fast forward. I might also add that having attack down and glancing really helps for this kind of comp. So coming in at number 9 is heal block, and it's beneficial if you're trying to use the heal block that you use stun as well. The idea with this team is to get MIHO down to 1 HP and then keep her stunned and heal blocked and just keep hitting her until you don't crit. So the monsters you see on screen all have relatively high crit rate. I think the lowest of them is probably around 60. These are all very high efficiency rune sets and representative of the type of team that you might put together, again, with RTA style runes, not necessarily arena style runes. Don't worry, we will talk about arena and guild content comps coming up. So let's go ahead and see how this team plays out. Okay, that's freaking hilarious. We're going to rerun this again, but I talked about how hard it would be to get Joltan to kill MIHO. And we're actually going to take out that Joltan just so that doesn't happen again. Again, keep in mind, I'm not trying to build comps here, but just demonstrate the ways you'd kill MIHO. Okay, back to number 9, heal block and stun. You might have also noticed that Mina landed the finishing blow because the heal block actually stopped her passive from working right there, where her critical rate would be 100% if the enemy has no harmful effects. Okay, coming in at number 8, we've got Oblivion. Now, obviously, Tessarian is the free-to-play option, but there are quite a few other options. Hernie, the Water Dryad, Isis, the Light Desert Queen. If you've got her, screw you. No, congratulations, obviously. But there are quite a few different options, but we're going to use Tessarian since it's the free-to-play option. And see if we can reduce the attack bar a little bit. Now let's get our defense break and our Oblivion, hopefully. And then we didn't get the defense break, but that should be enough. The MIHO's gone. Now, the reason this is lower on the list is because it does require quite a bit more setup. The enemy side can't have cleansers, can't have immunity, so it's not always a great option. But when the team breaks down like this particular one did, where there were no no immunity or cleansers, then Oblivion is a very good option to get rid of MIHO. And coming in at number 7 is probably the most fun way to kill MIHO, and that's the DOT, or damage over time team. We'll go ahead and auto out from this point so you can see how this works, but it's pretty straightforward. MIHO will die without being crit hit to the continuous damage. The only reason we've got this one ranked so low on the list is because it's pretty easy to prevent with any kind of cleanser or any kind of immunity. Coming in at number 6 is Surtur, the Fire Barbarian King. Now, I'll tell you that numbers 6, 5, and 4 are pretty similar. They're all 1 monsters that can counter MIHO. We're ranking Surtur lower, in large part because he's just not used as frequently, but also just because the next 2 monsters have a little bit more general utility within the fights. But let's go ahead and take a look at how Surtur can do. We'll go ahead and defense break MIHO, give Surtur an attack, and then you'll see his skill 3 right here strikes the enemy, that will ignore all effects that resist death, so we go ahead and just pop the MIHO and wave bye-bye, kitty. Coming in at number 5 is Rocky the Hell Lady. Now, I will tell you that Surtur and Rocky, they both do pretty much the same thing, which is that they have a skill that ignores death, but Rocky's an Nat 5, she has an AoE defense break. Surtur is actually a really nice monster, to be fair. Very underrated, the Fire Barbarian King, because his skill 2 can also stun, and his skill 3 has a little bit of sustain on it. But even with that said, Rocky still does a little bit more. As I was saying, Rocky still does a little bit more than Surtur overall, and she's got that same net effect ability where she can just pretty much one-shot MIHO and then prevent it from resurrecting. Now, a nice part of Rocky's skill 3 is also that it won't land as a glancing hit, and so it gives an even better shot of landing the finishing kill. With both Rocky and Surtur, one big weakness that they have is if they didn't finish MIHO with their skill 3, you would have to wait until it got all the way back through the cooldowns before you'd be able to try again. Okay, at number 4, we have Goro the Fire Ninja. And I think this might be a surprising pick for many of you, but trust me, Goro just dominates MIHO. Now, you might be asking, why isn't Rocky above Goro? And it's as simple as the fact that my Rocky is not skilled up. No, actually it's not. So, Rocky and Surtur both have that skill that will ignore death. But if they don't manage to land the kill, let's say the MIHO is really tanky, they miss a crit, you didn't set it up with defense break, whatever the case may be, if they miss the kill, then they're going to have to survive 3 more turns while their skill cools down before they can get that guaranteed kill on MIHO. Now, to roll it back a step, what's the biggest advantage that MIHO has on us? It's the turn cycling. And, well, I mean, obviously there's a lot of advantages. She doesn't die to a critical hit, she revenges everything, etc., etc. But all of that feeds back into turn cycling. MIHO reduces your attack bar, she stuns you, she revenge stuns you, and basically she laps you. And she just keeps beating on you until you die. Goro reduces the tables here on her in a couple of ways. His skill 2 is going to give me the ability to stun her, which means that she's going to not revenge because she's stunned, and she's going to miss a turn, which lets me lap. His skill 1 offers continuous damage. And as we established earlier, continuous damage is one way to kill MIHO. Now, I can't really count on the Goro continuous damage killing MIHO, but at the same time, if your Goro is built the way most of them are, he's going to be on Nemesis, so he's going to be healing, and it takes multiple hits to kill him. So we're going to come right back around and stun this MIHO. I healed up a little bit where she didn't. We're going to pop some continuous damage back on her, and eventually I'm going to land a not critical hit. Most Goros, I believe, are going to be built somewhere between 65 and 85 because we tend to put a lot of other stuff on. So if for some reason your Goro's at 100 crit rate, does not qualify for number 4. But if your Goro's somewhere in that normal range of 65 to 85, then we can just basically keep turn cycling on the MIHO until we land a not critical hit. And we're going to be getting more turns than her, so we'll keep her controlled the whole time. Okay, coming in at number 2 is Mo Long, and I want to give a shout out to my Guildy Speed Kills, who's allowing me to use his account because I don't have a Mo Long, and we're just attacking a random arena defense. I don't know his monsters. Hopefully this won't backfire. But the idea here is that we're going to use the Recon to strip and reduce some MIHO HP, get her below 70%, and then Reckless with the Mo Long. Of course, the Mo Long will be faster, and that's why we have the Tableau in there to control the speed as well. So let's see how this goes. Okay, we took first turn with our Fran, which was perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. We got our immunity up. And let's go ahead and actually just use our skill 2. So we slowed down the MIHO, which again is perfect. Now we're going to get that MIHO fixated on Recon, strip off that heal, and obviously the MIHO being at 10% HP is even better than under 70. We'll go ahead and Reckless the MIHO and wave bye-bye to the kitty. And just in case you're wondering why I finished that fight, there were actually 2 reasons. The first is because it's a Guildy's account, I'd hate to take the arena loss, and the second is because I've never gotten to use either Mo Long or Tableau before, and if you watch really closely, you'll see that I had no freaking clue what I was doing and I used them terribly. But we managed to get the win anyway, and now we're gonna... And coming in at number 2 is Scoville, the Wind Giant Warrior. So we're going to switch things up a little bit because this Commune Miho Lauren defense is something I actually saw quite a bit in our last siege. So we're going to emulate a siege base, meaning we're attacking it with all 4-star monsters. And just to show you the stats on this particular defense, these are actually some of my best ruined monsters. So we are fighting a very tough defense here. And you'll see how Scoville just handles Miho quite easily. In the 4-star siege bases, he's easily the best counter. So in this particular fight, we're using that Ajir so that he can strip the shield off the Miho, which means I'm going to save the Confiscate. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and just brand that Commune. We're going to see if we could stun the Lauren, which does make things easier. We get the Scoville Rock up, and now that the Scoville Rock's on its way down, we're going to try and strip that shield. Okay, we got the shield. We did get the shield, and I told you these are some of my better rune monsters. I think we're going to need to brand this Miho just to make sure she dies, and there she goes. So now that we're down, we're actually not completely out of the woods on this fight, but Scoville is still an absolute beast. We'll see if we can reduce the attack bar a little bit there. We did not, but now we should be able to finish off this Lauren, and we're good to go. Even if I were to lose the Joltan, especially since we're simulating siege, it doesn't actually matter if you lose a monster. And as soon as that Scoville Rock goes up, well, actually, we didn't even need the Scoville Rock. Ajir will make it game over right there. Oh. Okay, I underestimated or overestimated the power of the Scoville attack, but yeah, we're good. So there you go. Number 2 Miho counter is Scoville. Okay, so this will absolutely come as a shock to everybody, I'm sure, but Ciara is hands down the easiest way to kill Miho. Now, in this case, all we're going to do is give our Ciara an attack boost. A common Miho build involves Nemesis, which means that I simply outsped the Miho, took advantage of the fact that there was no will, and killed her. Had the Miho had will, which is kind of rare, but it happens, then all you really have to do is just wait one turn. But something that a lot of people don't realize is that Ciara actually has 2 ways to kill Miho, not just the bomb. If you still have an RTA-style Ciara like I do that's built with more tanky stats and a higher attack but a lower crit rate, mine is, I think, 42%, somewhere around there, then the triple attack from her skill 1 is also a great way to kill that Miho. Okay, that's it for today's video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the content, and more importantly, I hope it'll avoid you getting MIHO'd next time. As always, please remember to like, to comment, to subscribe. I read every comment, I try to reply to every comment, and it means a lot to me to know that you guys are getting something out of the videos, hopefully finding them entertaining at the same time, and any suggestions that you offer, any feedback that you have, I take it very seriously and I try to incorporate it. So thank you guys for watching, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, please pop that subscribe button over on the left. It shows me that you enjoyed the video, but more importantly, it shows me that you found the information useful and hopefully it helped you in your gameplay. So here's the deal. You pop subscribe and I'll keep popping out content. Thanks guys.